Hey y'all, welcome to Prestige Cash Club. I'm Cece, your savings promoter, and here at the club, we party with pennies and turn our savings into a VIP lifestyle. Y'all, it's Talk About It Tiny Tuesday, and today we're stuffing $100. Now, usually we put $50 into Tiny Tuesday, but we had a little extra cash. So today we're stuffing $100 into our quick win savings. And while we're stuffing, we're going to talk about it. So today's topic is how many of us started our budgeting journey at whatever point of life you started it, whether it's today, recently, or even some time ago. And there are tons and tons of budgeting advice floating around everywhere. Social media, family, everybody got what works for them. And it's amazing, right? Everybody knows how to budget, and yet we have less millionaires. But the reality is some of that advice is questionable. And the reason why I say that is because what works for some does not work for everyone. And I tell y'all all the time, like when I first started my budgeting journey, when I say I was locked in to Dave Ramsey, like locked in. And I quickly knew that I would not be able to last long on Dave Ramsey's plan. But what I did realize was that Dave Ramsey's plan did a few things. And it was not only him helping you budget and get yourself out of debt so that you would never get in debt again, but it was literally him working to unlock the psyche, unlock the bad habits you had created over time with credit cards, debt, and managing your money. And so a lot of the things that Dave teaches is based on you breaking those habits in addition to you budgeting. And the problem with breaking habits is you do have to go extreme, right? So imagine you had some type of habit, no matter what it is. Most people can't ease out of that habit. Like an example, you may have people who say, you know what, I think I want to cut out drinking. And they may go from drinking hard cocktails to just having a glass of wine with dinner. And then eventually they may not have anything at all. Or they may say, okay, I only have a cocktail on the weekends instead of every day. Or on special occasions. And then sometimes they just phase it out completely. However, when you have a hardcore habit, i.e. overspending, you have to go extreme, right? An example, if you had an addiction, they don't just say, oh, ease your way out of that drug. No, you got to stop cold turkey, and you got to stop cold turkey, and you got to go hard to ensure that you break that habit and you don't go back. While we do our tinies, we're going to talk about how, yes, some of the advice that they give you is technically true, but I want to explain how the way it is explained and how people treat budgeting is what make people quit budgeting altogether. So today, we're going to clear the air. I'm going to give you 5 budgeting tips, hacks, tips and tricks and rules that I kept hearing during my financial journey that either didn't work for me, or whether they are misunderstood, or sometimes you need a little bit more context. And remember, I'm not a perfect budgeter at all, okay? And we all see that. We all see that every week when I come here and do my unstuffings. The reality is I'm a real budgeter. And these are the things that actually work for me. So let's get our tinies out. We're going to put our money in and we're going to talk about it. So as you guys know, I work with 6 tiny savings challenges. And these are just small wins to help us save during the month. Let's get our singles. And because we're putting extra money in this week, we're going to add a couple spicy fives. So we're going to do $70 in singles and $30 in spicy fives. We got $100 here. Let's mix these fives in. And I'm going to leave one right on top. We're going to kick it off with a bang. All right. Y'all know I usually use my virtual die, but I like to switch it up every now and then. So we have two six-sided dice. Our pink is going to tell us which of the six get the money. Our purple is going to tell us how much we pay. So we're going to roll it and we're going to talk about it. So first thing that I heard that was a big problem for me was stop using credit cards. And as you guys know, I totally disagree. 4 is getting 2. People have a clear misconception that credit cards are the problem. And they are not the problem. The problem is spending them without a plan. You guys see, I use my credit cards every week. I tell you all the time, I am a hybrid 1 get 6. I'm a hybrid cash stuffer. That means I cash stuff, but I also use my cards. And that's the biggest thing is I use my cards to earn rewards. I use my cards to earn points. And there is a big difference between swiping your card without a plan and actually expecting to swipe your card for purposes of getting ahead. And I think that's the big issue is you're swiping that card and you don't have a plan on where that money is coming from after you've made the purchase. 5 gets 4. What you do instead though, 2 gets 1, 1 gets 2, is you got to use your cards responsibly. That's it. And I know that's easier said than done, but if you don't have the money already budgeted, you can't spend it. That's it. That's it. That's all. It's times where I want to impulse buy, and it's times that I do impulse buy. But guess what? When I impulse buy, those have to come from my funds that I have been saving to buy something that I like. An example, you guys saw when I did my last cash on stuffing, I overspent on DoorDash. 6 gets 4. And the reality is I didn't have enough in my eat out category. So what did I have to do? I had to pull that money from my personal spend. 5 gets 1. And my personal spend is the money that I use to do all of the fun stuff that I really want to do. 5 gets 1. And so that humbled me real quick that I spent $100 in food when that $100 could have been going toward something else that I wanted to do. Like go to the movies, add it on a bag or whatever, right? And so that's the importance. 5 gets 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the importance of being able to hold yourself accountable when you have decided to overspend in an area. 3 gets 2. Finally, y'all, I didn't think 3 was going to get anything. Tip number 2 is never eat out. Baby, baby, bye. Now, y'all know that ain't happening. And I know every one of y'all done heard that. Stop buying Starbucks. Cook every meal at home. Listen, I'm going to have my Starbucks when I want it. I'm going to eat out. As you guys see in my wallet, I budget for date night. And we go on date night every Friday. Every Friday. We might not necessarily eat out, but we're spending money. And I have a category called weekend fun. 2 gets 1. And because this is the reality. If you are miserable with your budget, it won't last. If you are depriving yourself from anything nice or that you enjoy doing, you're going to be like, forget this. 6 gets 1. The reality when it comes to budgeting is the goal is not perfection. It's consistency. And there are ways to get around that. An example, and I'm going to try to, if I can get the pictures. Every week, I have a meal at home that I would pay probably about $150 for if I went out to the restaurant. When I say lean into your pantry, but do it in a way that makes you feel good. An example, you like steak? Ribeye. I love ribeye steak. I know if I went out to the steakhouse, that ribeye is going to cost me anywhere from $60 to $150. 1 gets 4. The asparagus that cost me $6 at the store, 1 gets 4 again. That same asparagus at the chop house is going to cost me $15. So what I'm saying is sometimes for date night, we'll eat a nice meal at home and then we'll just go out for cocktails. We're still enjoying ourselves, but it doesn't always consist of food. And the most important things is that you are budgeting for the things that you enjoy. If you want cookies and they got to be Oreo, then just say, hey, you know what? My grocery budget has to have an extra $6 in there because I want Oreo cookies. Have your cookies, sis. Drink your coffee. Because I am. And once you budget for it, you feel happy. You feel content. And guess what? You'll naturally start saying, you know what? I like the Starbucks brand, but I'm going to have this Folgers brand because it tastes just as good in, dark roast, right? 4 gets 2. Next tip is cut out everything fun until you're debt free. Please. Never. Why would you do that? You know how short life is. And I'm not saying don't sacrifice, because when you're on a budgeting journey and you're trying to do stuff that maybe you are trying to save for something, you got a short amount of time, or maybe you're trying to save up for something, you need a new car, you need school clothes for the kids, 5 gets 3. Nobody's saying don't sacrifice for a short period of time, but we're talking about a budgeting journey. We're talking about making this a consistent lifestyle, not just something like, it's not a sprint, right? It's literally a marathon. 4 gets 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Life has to be lived. What is it to budget, save all of this money, and then you live in an unhappy life? Or you paid off all your debt, and now you don't want to go anywhere or do anything because you're so afraid to spend. No, baby, take that vacation. Save for the vacation. Take the vacation, enjoy yourself, and save for your guilt-free spending. I got a whole video on how I save for Jamaica, and the last 6 is going to go in 6. Yeah, it's called intentional spending. If you know, let me also tell you one thing. So I'm talking about essentials, right? But let's talk about stuff that's not essentials. Let's just say you love to go to sporting events, or you love designer bags, right? But you're on a budgeting journey. Save for the designer bag. So what? If you need $2,000, pick you a challenge and say, you know what? I'm going to take out $100 out of every check or whatever It's not impacting your priorities, but you can still save for the life that you want to live. And that's all I talk about on this channel. If you want a Gucci bag or a Louis Vuitton purse or glasses, or you decide that when you go out, you need to buy a bottle of champagne, or you need to, ride in a black car, right? That's your prerogative. You are supposed to enjoy life, as long as after you have enjoyed life, you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's not a VIP lifestyle. That's foolish and frivolous spending for trying to live a life that you really can't afford. All right, y'all. This one here is from Portia at High Beauty Budgets. This one got a lot of money, y'all. Look at all this money. It got 2 spicy 5s. So this one got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31. And this one, y'all, only saves $21. Lord, we're done. We're done with this tiny. This one saves 21. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we got us some rollover money. And just like that, y'all, we finished one. Our next one here is by Anna Banana Budgets. And we made each of these $1. And this one got only 3 lonely dollars. Let's put a couple more dollars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 8 in this one. All right, y'all. We got $8 going in. And we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. We got $40 in the buyback. All right. Y'all, tip 3. Are we on tip 3? Tip 4 is every dollar has to be perfect. You want every dollar to be accounted for. No, you don't. Life changes, budgets change, and unexpected things happen. Yes, you can have a zero-based budget, because I do a zero-based budget. However, every dollar doesn't have to be perfect. There are going to be some weeks that you totally expected to budget for something and something else popped up. And now you got to move that money around. And that's okay. You cannot get discouraged when life happens. That's why you budget. You budget for the unexpected. These are $2 each. This one got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's add $1 for 6. And actually, let's do a 5. And let's mark off 3 of these popsicles. And this one is from Bookish Mama Budgets. Yeah. Some weeks you're going to overspend on groceries, or like me, on DoorDash. You're going to have to put some extra gas in your car, because guess what? We never know when these gas stations are raising these gas prices just because, right? I mean, we were at war one day and gas prices had jumped $3. You know, it's going to be some weeks that you're just randomly scrolling and Amazon is going to win. Or it's going to be a random week that Bath and Body Works sent that email, or Ulta sent that email and told you that you got 20% off and you got to use it by Saturday, right? And we start reevaluating our life. But that's okay. Adjust. Just don't quit, because progress doesn't mean perfection. This one is by Lulu Innovation. And this one got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, y'all, and we only needed 20 for this one. Y'all, we have finished a second one. Let's add $1 here. Let's get 2 5s. And y'all, this one is done. That's crazy. And y'all, these little tinies are hard to come by. A lot of people don't make them like that anymore. I'm gonna have to get some old ones. Like, you know, people used to do them with the themes. I also think August is a hard theme. Like, some people do summer ones, but I see like more of them when it's like St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day and New Year's. But when we get to these summer months, you know, they have cute ones like this with the little popsicles and stuff like that. But I see a lot of people, they make minis rather than tinies. Another tip is you have to budget within the parameter that you have now. And that's not true. The reality is you either have two factors. You have an income flow problem where your expenses exceed the money that you're bringing in, or you have a spending problem, which means that you are spending more than your income that is coming in. An example, you may say, well, I don't make enough money. I got to make some more money, but yet you have a high Verizon bill. And this is no shade to Verizon users. We know that you guys have the best service nationwide. But yeah, you also paying $200 a month per line for that crystal clear sound. Come on, y'all. You ain't got to have that. You can have a low-cost cell phone bill. Go to some of these other providers and try them out. Xfinity. A lot of people don't like AT&T. Try AT&T. Guess what? Try Cricket. Try Boost. And I'm not saying lower your quality of service. If you find that a provider is not having good service, don't use them. But what I'm saying is, it's just like insurance. I'm not loyal to no insurance company. If my insurance starts creeping up over time, baby, when I say I will go and start getting quotes for insurance company every 6 months if you let me. Sometimes it pays to leave and go other places. You get discounts, you get new customer incentives, etc. Even if that means that your budget, is going to be lower for a period of time where you can save and reallocate that money to other expenses, that's what, do it. Okay, this one is by MSO's Budgets. This one got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, y'all. 30 on the dot. Let's see how much this one saves. We don't know. But I see some big numbers on here. More than 30, I tell you that. So here is a 10. Here is an 11. And let's do the 9. That's 30. So this little bitty tiny is a big saver, y'all. All right, let's condense. How many 5s do we have left? All right, so we need $20. We're gonna take all of those. That's our $30. That's going into this spring challenge. Yeah, and do that with everything, not just your cell phone, not with your insurance, but literally every single thing. Call these providers on the phone and say, hey, I can't afford my monthly bill. I'm going to cancel. Can you find me any discounts? And sometimes they will, and sometimes they'll say, no, we can't. And that's okay too. But guess what? Sometimes you got to leave and come back. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, if you come back, we'll give you X amount of dollars off. Or, yeah, I bet you will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one got 10. Let's get some 5s. And the last but not least item is cash stuffing is the only way. Now, as much as I love cash stuffing, y'all, it's just a tool. And some people don't get cash stuffing. You have people that are really good at managing their money. They're like, well, I don't get it. Right. And all right, $10 going in, because they can easily just transfer their money into an account, and they are disciplined enough to not touch it, or they're disciplined enough to, be able to track from a single account. In my opinion, every adult needs at least 2 to 3 separate checking accounts. Your primary checking account that your paycheck is loaded, your checking account that your bills come out of and your savings sits in, and then a high yield savings account or credit union. Your high yield savings account is going to help you make the most on your money sitting in your account. So I have 2 different types of savings. I have my high yield savings account where all of the money that's going to sit in there for some time. Oh, wait, y'all, I got some money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put it in this one here. But my high yield savings account is where all of my long-term money that sits there that I don't expect to pull out right away. And literally, by the end of the year, I've earned an extra $100, $75, $200 on that money that I wouldn't have earned if it was just sitting in my regular savings account. That's the benefit of a high yield savings account. And then also, I'm a big proponent of not mixing money. So I like to, as you can see, pull my money out. And I like to have money in different pockets and buckets, or if something happens. We live in a digital age where people hack all the time. So what happens if somebody gets access to your account? You got one account that you have access to, and you can't, your money is going to be all tied up if something happens to that one account. So there's a lot of reasons to have many accounts, but I strongly encourage you to find what works for you. Digital budgeting works for others. Hybrid budgeting works too. The best budget is the one where you actually are sticking with the plan. We stuffed our minis. We've completed 2 challenges. We have 4 left over for next week. We're going to fill 2 of them. And I want to say, in closing, here's my question. What's one budgeting tip you've heard that did not work for you? Come on, let's help each other. Because I know I'm not by myself. Drop it in the comments, because everybody else might need to hear it too. And remember, don't just copy somebody else's budget. Build the one that works for your lifestyle. The best budget isn't the strictest budget. It's the one that you're actually going to stick to. I hope these tips and tricks help with you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss when I post. And make sure you're following Prestige Cash Club for more savings tips and tricks.